Thunder Gaming presents Thunder Smash 2. 8 of the best players in the world. Team Liquid the Buzz. T1 Larry Lurr. World Best Gaming MVD. Most Valuable Gaming Dark Wizzy. CLG Void. Most Valuable Gaming Salem. Demise GG Nico. And Panda Global Esam. 8 players. $10,000 prize pool. Live from Los Angeles. Thunder Smash 2 Invitational starts now.
Here nor there, we're going to be jumping into this next set. We got Esam, Panda Global's own, jumping onto the set, fighting off against Larry Lurr. It was T1.
Yeah, Larry, SKT1, of course. And I'm a little, I don't know, Larry's one of those players that everybody knows is great, but he actually missed the PGR this season. One of the top players in Smash 4, of course, probably the top Fox player on the planet, but hasn't really translated over to Smash Ultimate in the way that you would expect. If he was on the PGR, I'm sure he would have a very high X factor, but hasn't really, shown up at that level just yet.
Ah, so spoiler.
Oh no! Oh no!
Panda Global, Cody,
I dropped
hello?
the bit. I dropped it.
There you go, man.
But,
You're just like France, dude.
Swore, I'm so sorry.
In all honesty, though,
Paris,
we know that Larry is fully capable of being like a top 10 player, but I think the fact that Fox is just not where he wants to be probably hurt him a lot. Thankfully, he does love Wolf. He does love Falco. His Inkling is probably one of the Inklings that I've seen get the most consistent up throw up airs, dude. His up throw up air conversions are ridiculously consistent. Like, I've seen times where, like Armado or even Cosmos will go for up throw up airs, and sometimes they'll miss it.
Not easy.
When it's like, yeah, definitely not an easy conversion, but Larry, he finds it rather easy when he plays with the Inkling. But at the same time, he doesn't quite have the love in his heart for the Inklings. He's playing them because they're a really good character and they have tools that he can work with. But if you were to ask him what characters he really likes, Falco. Falco's that character. He has a lot of interesting combos, and he has some really cool approaches to the character too, understanding that Dare does auto cancel, right? And yet a lot of peak Falco mains don't really use Dare the way he does. So I'm gonna see what he's gonna bring to the table here, because facing off against Esam, this guy is a spacey slayer.
Yeah. I think Esam is going to be incredibly comfortable here. I think we saw that Wolf was actually chosen for Larry. They were I think they had to switch sides, but I think it's going to be Pikachu against Wolf, which is not a great matchup for Wolf. And when you're fighting the best Pikachu on the planet and has been for, God, what, a decade?
Yeah, dude, remember
since
Brawl,
dude.
And so funny enough, in Melee he played Samus, but from Brawl and henceforth, he just kept sticking to the character. And whenever I saw him play against a Spacey, since Brawl, I always winced. It was just that hard to watch, because I'm a Spacey fan. And
so Pikachu versus Fox and Brawl, is that what you're talking about?
Pikachu versus Fox, Pikachu versus Wolf, Pikachu versus Falco.
You get a grab, it's over.
Yeah.
You're just doing flips. Yeah.
Doing flips.
Even though Pikachu can't quite do the chain grabs, it's just the chains. You have the near up tilt loops. You could do, and you could even start them from down throw.
Yeah.
And as the percents get higher, Esam can even do forward air loops as well with the character too.
Yeah, I mean, every aerial is just a menace. You can also do back airs, just kind of carry them across the stage. You see Pikachu do that more against characters like kind of Richter and Simon, characters with worse recoveries, but I think he can get a lot of damage if Larry is not careful. He's got to watch his shield on the stage too, because if he gets shield poked, you're still going off either way. I think where Larry is going to have to try to succeed is Pikachu can struggle to get the KO sometimes. He has to rely on that up throw thunder. Esam, again, we were talking about how consistent Larry is with the Inkling on that, but it's not especially easy for Pikachu to do so. Esam, he's got to be consistent with it, catch Larry with that. Otherwise, he might have a hard time getting that KO.
Yeah, and at the same time, Larry's going to have to be careful, because Esam does have down tilt at higher percents, right? Like, if he's going to want to engage with Esam at high percents, he can't get too aggressive.
That's a good point,
If
yeah.
you get caught off guard from that down tilt and you miss the tech, Esam's going to get those jab locks into a KO.
That's right. I mean, he's done it before, man. They haven't officially fought at like a PGR event, but they did fight at that Goodwill, an Orange County event, where Esam prevailed over Larry. So they still got that set win. Maybe he could use that to his advantage to come into this. But you know Larry's fiending. I was actually talking with Larry Lurr earlier about like how he's feeling in this pool or whatever, because a lot of people are sleeping on him, I think. I think a lot of people...
Oh, no question.
Of course.
People are just like, I don't think he's going to be on the PGR. And a lot of people are just thinking, sleeping on Larry. He's washed up, blah, blah, blah. But I think he's going to have a strong season too. But, you know, as I say that, that's 64 damage right out the gate.
Guaranteed, ladies and gentlemen.
Get it out of here.
Oh, you might have a nice season, but maybe not a nice day as Pikachu. Oh my god. Okay, so that's the 0 to death. Esam obliterates Larry's first stock, and the worst part of that is because he was just out of the woods. If you take that 60 to 70% against Pikachu, you're kind of guaranteed to take that damage anyway. But if you can stay alive a while, it's fine. Problem is he didn't stay alive a while.
Yeah, Esam, he's been working so hard to just come up with more and more tech with the character. I noticed too, like on his Twitter, he posted a really sick combo where he carries the opponent off stage and manages to drag them down with Thunder, with the second part not connecting, where the Thunder hits Pikachu, just basically resulting in a spike. So we'll see if he'll be able to do that. But right now, he's doing a good job against Larry. Larry finally finding time to use the laser. And against Pikachu, you rarely have that. He's going for the down tilts now. So against Pikachu, what kind of interaction was that? You saw the clank?
Yeah.
With the electricity of all things, electricity. All right. I feel like I lost my just this
So
match.
many things happen.
Yeah.
So many things happen at once, but Esam closing out that second stock with the up smash. And again, you're going to take early damage from Pikachu regardless from, a grab or anything else. Larry is trying to rely on that up smash to get the KO as Esam is jumping around. But again, Esam just kind of reminiscent of what was happening to Wizzy playing outside of those pockets. Finally succumbs to the up smash, but still with a whole stock and a half advantage. This is tough.
And this is a really strong start for Esam. Like, he's already got him at 78%, trying to get him with the edge guard. And a lot of the times, I feel like Esam's getting away with a lot of these quick attacks. Like, not too big of punishes coming out from Larry.
Yeah, quick attack can be a very tricky tool to deal with, especially when Esam's in a corner. Here we go.
That's it. Oh, it's not guaranteed anymore, man.
He could have got a forward smash.
Yeah.
He was trying to be cute. He tried to do a reverse up smash. He thought Larry would roll in.
Was definitely trying to go for a hard read. I was like, wait, where's the follow-up?
He was definitely trying to be a cutie patootie on that one.
For sure.
But what happens
And that's the
is,
Esam classic.
it's funny because like so many people call things reads when they're not reads, it's just coverage. That was a read, and it didn't work out, which is how you know it's a read. Good forward air, that'll do it. 96% only on Esam.
Look at him smiling.
Yowza.
He's feeling himself.
But yeah, he had a very strong start in the beginning, just like you said. I was going to mention, now I remember, how, when it comes to facing off against Wolf, you can't quite go for the lasers all the time because of the fact that Esam's probably going to be in the air shooting the T-Jolt, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, a lot of times Larry's going to try to find his way inside, try to find a way to discourage the usage of that. But I noticed how Esam, instead of even falling back for that, he's just been straight up brawling with Wolf and then getting his low to mid% combos going.
You're just in that CQC territory, man. You just want to get in there and just slugfest. That's what he gets a lot. And that's, again, Esam runs in there immediately, just tacks on a ton of damage off these combos because of his, just the fast fall. It's easy to get so many combos on the space. He's using Pikachu, already 58. He's going to continue. CD6 just as a punish for these nerds. It continues more and more, keeping him more vertical. My gosh.
Honestly, right now, you know what I realize, guys? A lot of these guys are going for air-to-airs against Wolf. They understand that Wolf, he has amazing aerial mobility. He can't quite just run up on you and try to grab. That's super obvious. So instead of having to deal with the 50-50 of him empty jumping and grabbing or just jumping in with an aerial, they'd rather just air-to-air with him and beat him out first. And
I think some of these characters are sort of privileged enough to do that. A lot of characters wouldn't be able to, but I think with Mario, as long as you space it out correctly, and then obviously with Pikachu having the electricity effect, I think he's able to do it a little bit more.
Yeah, man, that forward air is a really good tool.
Yeah. You saw Esam being a little sneaky there on the ledge. You know, there's a little slant on the end of Yoshi's that allows him to be able to duck underneath Wolf's lasers, who's trying to bait it out. So Larry just went in there and grabbed him and just get him out of there. Goes off super deep, doesn't get the final swing of forward air, but doesn't need it. Still gets the kill right afterwards.
Yeah, Wolf's recovery just not amazing, but Yoshi's coming in big there for Larry, giving him a little bit more time to land that down smash so Esam could not get into the ledge. But again, you're paying the spacey tax, and the man has come. He's coming to take it.
He's coming to collect, man.
Notice how Esam made sure to just follow, to actually drag Larry away from the platforms in order for him to continue that combo without having it get interrupted, dude. That was nuts.
Super smart. Now you see him again. Wolf, you know, trying to cross him with the dash attack, but because of the nature of Pikachu's out of shield options, you easily just go for a back air, and if he goes forward or back, you can just cover both options. So the crossover doesn't really matter against him as much.
Back air being such a fast tool, too.
Yeah.
That was the ugliest DI I've ever seen on that back throw. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Larry just going straight left. He was able to survive, but it looked very close. 120 currently against 37, and I think this is where Larry needs to come alive, because Esam can have difficulty getting the KO if you play appropriately, and right there, you saw him go for the down air. His DI was totally off because he was trying to land with an aggressive option, and he died super early because of it.
I'll say one thing about Esam. Very amazing player, but there can be times that he, you know, shoots way too early, you know? Like, there are times he should probably wait a little bit and react instead of guessing. And because of that, Larry was able to get those openings. So maybe Larry should just employ more patience.
I think he's got to sort of fall back a little bit, like one step forward, 2 steps back, just try to feign an aggressive approach and then just kind of dip backward, because like you were talking about, Pikachu just a little bit stubby in terms of his, you know, his moves, and because of that, I think Wolf can sort of bait and punish very well.
And then the vortex continues.
I was waiting to see if a tech was going to happen, but not quite.
Oh, man.
Esam just looking very confident,
I think Esam just wanted to get damage off of that, but that just kind of led it into a KO. I think if Esam was playing, you know, the way he usually plays, he was probably expecting a tech afterwards and already is like thinking about the follow-up option. Because that's a lot of things that top players do. But then when he saw Larry just die, he was like, oh, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that game too.
Hovering Yoshi's again. Okay, we're going back.
Wants to keep it close quarters, which is surprising because it seems like whenever they do get really close to each other, Esam just needs one stray hit, whether it's a grab, a nair, a down tilt, what have you. Okay, we're going over Smashville. Still kind of the same story, a small stage, just with a different platform layout.
Yeah, he might not be carried around as much, and I think that he'll have a little bit more sort of ease in terms of recovery, because on Yoshi's, you've got 2 platforms there, and because of that, he can cover both really easily on a character like Pikachu's. So I'm a little interested to see how Smashville goes here for him. And you see Esam already trying to start off these combos. Triple back air, just take him all the way off. Tries to go for the quadra into the up air, but it's not going to happen.
You notice that Larry looked like he was actually trying to escape, but Esam was on the chase, dude. So the game plan is definitely to just bulldog Wolf the entire time. Don't give him time to breathe. Don't let him pester you with the laser. Just go up in front of him, because he's probably going to go for an aerial anyway, and stay at a particular range that allows him to not benefit off of his out of shield options with up smash or even a grab.
Yeah. When you give Esam an inch, he takes it a mile, man. But speaking of which, you saw Wolf getting the down smash, catching the up B at, you know, as he lands back down on the stage with no lag whatsoever.
Yeah, but good presence of mind from Esam. I think a lot of lesser players would have landed closer to the edge, and because of that, he's able to live. But Larry is not, as he eats that forward smash. 88% on Esam is all he has.
Anytime Esam lands a Thunder Jolt, okay, you catch the back air, but anytime Esam lands a Thunder Jolt off stage, he's usually trying to go for it, followed up with a kill of any kind, whether it's like an early gimp, a spike, or just a forward smash like he did just there.
I do see one thing that Coney did mention. Larry trying to see if he can at least force Esam to swing first. It's been helping out a little bit.
Yeah, you can see him right there. He's got a little bit of a dash back into something else, but the dash attack was not the answer. Tries to air dodge in. He's going to eat the dash attack for it. Gets the down tilt, but does not get a trip. Gets another one. And right now, Larry's sort of feeling himself, looking a lot better, sort of the Larry that we know and love.
I like the mix-up, too, because he was playing super aggressive with both of those approaches, and opted to back up a little bit just to kind of throw off the timing of his third approach against Esam. Now he's here struggling to find his way back down to the stage, find some real estate. Finally does back air out of shield again to catch him off guard. Thought he was going to go for a high recovery. Had a forward air with his name on it.
That was an up smash.
Definitely.
I'm surprised he didn't let that rock. I mean, you talked about it last game with Void where it felt like on some whiffs, he could have let that one sing, but didn't happen right now. 125 on Esam. He might come to regret it if he doesn't get off this ledge. Another forward tilt. Esam has him in a bad spot. There's the Thunder to set up the down air, and Esam once again in the driver's seat.
What does he do against these projectiles?
Well,
Not bad.
Well, one thing, we did see Larry go for a lot of shines, and he immediately acted after getting the reflect. But right here, Esam, once he gets a grab, a rare miss.
That was a really scary scenario. But Larry's still in this fight.
Yeah, and it looked like he kind of scared Esam a little bit, forced him to block. Remember, Esam, oh, there it is, the up smash, understanding that he doesn't have to go through jump squat. He could just straight up smash out of shield immediately.
And it scoops up from a very far distance, you know?
Yes.
The same thing with the cross-ups. Cross-ups don't really matter against that move either.
Larry forces himself back on stage. I think he has to every time. Tries to catch with the back air, but Esam going for the quick attack instead, and Esam just so good at mixing it up, changing things around. Excellent tech by Esam. That would have been curtains if he didn't do it.
Anybody else would have missed that tech. Literally anybody else.
Yeah. Forward tilt, jumps over the lasers, skull bash!
Aggressive skull bash, realizes he has to go on stage. If Larry would have just held shield for maybe half a second longer, that would have been the game, but it does not happen. Larry needs to put a point on the board. He tries to go for the up smash, but he gets caught out, and because of that, he's going to get pulled down into the down smash. Esam up 3-0, and I really do think Larry was positioning for the up smash and just was slightly off.
Man, honestly, like, I know a lot of times we've mentioned how Pikachu looks like he has a tough time killing, but I have to say, the thing about Esam, he makes it look so easy.
He does,
because of the fact that he employs tools that set up for the KO, right? Either he'll set you up in a tech chase situation, or he'll just use a combo starter, in which we saw with the neutral air. Got the neutral air at the right percent, and the moment that neutral air connected, the guaranteed down smash just to send Larry off stage. To be honest, man, Esam, just like Dark Wizzy, looked like he was prepared.
Yes.
On the other hand, Larry, again, you know, he has to still go on that search to figure out how to properly approach this game, who's going to be his best character. So far, he says it's Wolf. I've seen the Wolf a lot. I'm surprised I didn't see him want to even try to opt for Inkling, understanding that you have 3 games on the table, regardless of the fact that you may lose the first 2.
I'm a little surprised too, but we're going to kick it over to the standings, guys. Dark Wizzy and Esam both up 3-0 currently. Larry and Void, of course, going 0-3. And I think the story of these first 2 sets is that you see these character specialists, these people that have pumped so much time and effort and energy into their mains for so long, just really knowing what to do against these really secondary wolves. I mean, like Larry obviously rocking with the Fox early on, realized it wasn't really for him. He does main wolf, but it's not where his heart lies, as we talked about before. He you know, it's not really a 100% application. And of course, Void feeling the same kind of sting because he was a Pichu player, plays a lot of characters at a high level, but I don't know if he has anything to really challenge a character master like Dark Wizzy at that level.